Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome to day 20 of Vlogmas. I hope that you are all well. Today I am going to be going through my yarn stash that you see behind me, and I'm going to be planning some projects for 2023. A huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you to all of you who have clicked links in description boxes and all of these things that encourages these companies to come back to me, because I really appreciate it. You know that. I hope you know that anyway. Now, I don't tend to plan out my projects like this. That's not a thing I tend to do. I tend to just kind of wing it. But then the problem is that I don't tend to then use my projects. You may notice that this is empty. I've just finished filming me going through this side of my stash, which is the sweater quantity side. That was day 15 of Vlogmas. So I thought while I'm sat here, I may as well film me as I'm putting it back what I'm going to be knitting with all of these things. I do have a kimchi up here. She's been a little bit playful and very cute, but also slightly irritating and distracting. But before I get into that, I have made a list. Of course I've made a list. I make lists all the time. Before I get into that, I am going to do Advent time. Advent time. I can show you what I got in day 20 of my Advent calendars. I have 3 Advent calendars. I'm just going to get my cat out of a plastic bag actually first. I return. While sorting out the cat, I also sorted out my lipstick because I applied it quickly in my phone camera, and I am not used to wearing lipstick enough to be able to get away with doing it. Oh good, the other cat has joined. What is this? Anyway, day 20, 3 Advent calendars, Chromatic Yarns Advent calendar. That is my own hand-dyed yarn. All of my yarn is dyed in colours inspired by the game Dungeons and Dragons. I also have a Cast of Yarns Advent calendar. That is a lovely fade through mermaid colours this year. And then I also have a Bird and Blend Tea Advent calendar that they were so kind to send to me, and I am an affiliate with them. Let's start with Chromatic Yarns. Chromatic Yarns! If I remember correctly, this is one of my favourite colourways that I dyed up for this Advent. And I definitely wrote it down. Starting out, you get a D12, which is a lovely 12-sided dice. Yes. Looks a bit like a football. And then you also get a gorgeous skein of a colourway called Dissonant Whispers. Dissonant Whispers. Which is a greyish blue that has some deep purpley plummy speckles, and I absolutely love this and have definitely written it down because I want it in a full-size skein because I want to wear it on my body. I love it. I love it. Bubs, you better not have to zoomies. This is not zoomy time. This is calm time. She doesn't know the difference. Next up, we have the Castleview Yarns Advent Calendar, and it's another large parcel. Very exciting. Ooh, some buttons. Oh, they're very cute. Jen, you spoil us with these extras. Beautiful. No, not going to risk that. They're going to go everywhere. And a handy little tin. Good for stitch markers and the like. Let's reveal this colourway. Oh, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Like a jade, greeny, turquoisey colour. This is Nautica Stormy Sea. You've got some dark speckles in there as well. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeousness. Gorgeous, gorgeousness. Yes. Yes. I really need to make a plan on what to knit with this. This has not been added into my list of plans because I don't know what to knit with it yet. So, or crochet. So as and when the time arrives, makes itself aware, then I'll add it to the list. If it doesn't get worked on next year, then that's also fine. Finally, we have Bird and Blend, day 20. Ooh, peach soda. I've definitely had this one before. I've done it as a cold brew and lemonade, and it was absolutely delicious. This is a fruit tea, caffeine-free, apple pieces, hibiscus, cardamom, rose petals, rosehip, freeze-dried peach, orange peel, and natural flavouring. And it smells so peachy. I don't know how this will be as a hot tea. I'm very curious, but as cold brewed, absolutely delicious. So good. So good. Much recommend. Right, I'm going to pop these all back in my little bag and take them back downstairs. So let's chat 2023 knit and crochet projects, because this is the year I want to knit some more of my stash, because I've kind of abandoned it this year. This year I spent way too much time knitting samples for my shop, and I have come to realise that realistically that is not something I can do unless I never buy yarn again, which is not something I want. So yes, I need to make it work. First up, with my Chromatic Yarns 2022 Advent Calendar, I really want to make the Fade into Christmas blanket. This is a pattern by Yarnia Designs. It was new this year. It's a crochet pattern. That is her first crochet pattern that she's come out with. And yes, I really think it will be a beautiful, beautiful blanket. And she's also done it so you can wear it as a shawl if you fold it over as well. So yes, I think that is what I want. I want to knit a crochet blanket. That doesn't make sense. I want to crochet a blanket out of my 2022 Chromatic Yarns Advent, and the Fade into Christmas is just perfect. You come over here, you're paying the cat tax. You're paying the cat tax. This is Miso. She's currently being chased by her sister Kimchi, who is an all black cat. Do you want me to help you out? Do you want to get through? Go, be free. Her sister went the other way and cheated. Next up, we have the Northeasterly blanket. I saw Alison of Lofty Loops working on one of these. She's got it's ongoing from various advents through the years, and it's just so pretty. She's knit hers in a double knit weight, and I think I will likely do the same. I can't remember if the pattern is double knit or not. I think it might be, because I have so many scraps. These are all my scraps down here. These are scraps, and I would love to work through them and actually put them in a blanket. I have a Cozy Memories blanket on the go. I don't think it's over here. And I also have a Granny Square blanket on the go. I'm not saying I won't work on either of those again. These are all the scraps that I have to go into my Granny Square blanket, for example. So yeah, I'm not saying that I won't be working on that. I definitely, hopefully will. I need to find my crochet hook. It's gone missing. But see, I have some squares. But I just think a Northeasterly blanket will be really nice. And because it's, you work the yarn double if you've got 4-ply, you will work it up a bit quicker. Is this it? Oh no, that's my 6mm hook though. That is very useful to find. Sometimes it pays to go through project packs. Sometimes. I'll find it. I'll find it one day. I'm going to leave that crochet hook there so I can put it back with its friends. Now, next on my list, I've put to finish my Twists and Turns shawl, because I just keep procrastinating. I just keep putting it off. That's not true. I put it away to start my shawl that I'm currently working on that I might have finished by the time this goes up. I don't know yet. But my Brioche Adventure shawl. So I really want to work on this. As you can see, I'm not very far through. This was the mystery knit along, and I cast this on because I really thought that I'd get it done in the month. I really thought I would. But the first section was such a slog that I didn't get very far, and that's as far that I've done section 1 and a tiny piece of section 2. So I really want to finish this. This is made out of my own hand-dyed yarn. We've got Raven Queen, we've got Burr Hag. This is Raven Queen. This is Burr Hag. And then this is Lightning Resistance. And I just think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. I really like the shape of it, and it will be a fantastic sample. But I really want to get it done. I made the Mild Magic shawl, which is a shawl that was a mystery, part of the mystery knit along. But I didn't do it as a mystery knit along, I knit it afterwards. I wear that shawl all the time, and I knit it in 10 days. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. And we were watching Midnight Mass. It was last year that I knit it, and we watched Midnight Mass while I did it, and yeah, I wear it all the time. Oh, it's so squidgy, it's so big, it's so comfy. I use mohair, it was delightful, I love it. But I don't think, that's not the same, it's not quite the same, it's not got quite the same vibe to it, so. But I do really want to finish it because I don't like to have things unfinished. Speaking of procrastinating, it just reminds me of a class that I am currently taking with Skillshare, and so it seems like the perfect time to take a minute to chat about them with you. Thank you so much to Skillshare for being a sponsor of today's video. If you weren't aware, Skillshare is an online learning community for creative and curious people with thousands of classes available in a huge variety of topics. These classes are led by real working creatives and experts who are really keen to share their expertise with you. Whether you're a dabbler, a beginner, intermediate or a pro, there is a class there for you. And with the new year almost here, now is the perfect time to invest in yourself. With the Skillshare membership, you can engage in your passions all year long. It's the perfect way to start and finally keep your resolutions for the new year. 2022 was definitely the year of procrastination for me in the corner of craft, and I am desperate to fix that in 2023. And that is why I'm currently taking the class Defeat Procrastination, Design Your Own Personalised Workflow with Sarah McKinnon. I'm only about a third of the way through and I'm just really enjoying taking 30 minutes out of my morning, still cozy in my jammies, having my first cup of tea of the day, and I'm taking that time to invest in myself. There is a fantastic workbook included in this class to help you create your best workflow system, and so many of the other classes also have source materials for you to look through. It's really helpful. Sarah includes some mantras for succeeding as well as some myths around productivity. Did you know that procrastination doesn't mean that you're lazy? Huge helps. And also there's class projects out there. At the moment, we have just learned, as I say, I'm only a third of the way through. I've just learned the importance of workflow, and I've listed what my superpowers and my kryptonite is. It was much easier to list the negatives than the positives, but I'm excited to learn how the things that work well for me and the things that don't work so well for me come together to create my perfect workflow system. You may have noticed, because I've been sponsored by Skillshare before, that a lot of the classes that I tend to choose and I tend to take are more geared towards being a small business owner, because that is what I am and that is what I like, and productivity and procrastination and time management are all things that I definitely struggle with. So those are the classes that I like to take, but that's not to say those are the only classes out there. There are so many classes out there, from knitting and crochet techniques to jewelry making. There are classes on photography, video editing, illustration, journaling, calligraphy, all sorts. I love it. It's so exciting. And the classes aren't interrupted by ads, so that takes away one huge distraction. Like I mentioned in the class I'm taking, that there are source materials in the classes, but not only that, you are actively encouraged to participate in these classes. There are places to submit projects and also discussion spaces, so you can chat with other people taking the class and also the teacher itself. If you get stuck on something or want clarification on something, you can ask and get feedback, and I think that is fantastic. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box or in the top pinned comment will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So what are you waiting for? A huge thank you to Skillshare once again for sponsoring this video. Right, should we get back to chatting projects? Next up, we have the Beginner Brioche Hat, which is a pattern by Carly Perrins. It calls for mohair and 4-ply, or in one of her samples, she did make it using a sock set. So if we go over to this side, I have this skein of mohair that I could use. Oh my goodness, I could do it with this. Is this the 4-ply? This is the 4-ply. Oh my god, that'd be perfect. This is Chromatic Yarns. This was meant to be Vampiric Touch but went wrong. And then this is Morpheus, and this is by Olive Branch Yarns, the lovely Orly. They'd be nice together. That's an option. Or if I want it out of a sock set, I could make it using this. How many grams is that mini skein? Oh, it's a 20 gram mini skein. Yeah, so you use the mini skein and the yarn in the brioche for the brim, and then you just hold this double for the crown instead of holding them together. So that could be an option as well, because I think that would be really fun. Maybe that's an option I do instead of hats. Maybe that's what that is destined to become. Maybe that isn't quite right. But I really want to knit that hat because I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm meant to be putting stuff away as I go, and here I am taking stuff out. It's not the right way around. Okay, so next up on my list, I have the Love Note, which is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. I am going to make this out of the Fibre Fox We're All Mad Here. This is on her merino sock base, their merino sock base, apologies. It's 2 of them now. And yes, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, beautiful teals, a bit of navy blue. I dyed up some mohair to be held with it, and I haven't skeined it up because I'm a heathen. I also thought that if I'm just going to use it, what's the point? But this it would be easier to show off if I had scaled it up, that's for sure. This gorgeous teal colour that my camera currently hates is going to be held with this, and should give everything a bit of a turquoisey edge. So I've dyed up 4 skeins of it. So yes, that is going to be held with these, and is going to be a love note. I'm going to keep these out because I think this might be my Christmas Eve cast on potentially. I've heard people say that the love note is quite a quick knit, and I think I need a quick win. Next up we have the Ranunculus. Every time I go to a yarn show, I see so many people wearing a Ranunculus, and I talk to them about it and they're like, oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever knit. I'm so glad I knit it. It knit up so fast. So I'm going to use my Giddy Yarns Eeyore colourway, Eeyore colourway, to make a Ranunculus, and that is a pattern by Midori Heroes. And you can knit this pattern using like any weight of yarn. And yeah, it's got lovely lace work in it, much like the love note, but different. And yeah, I just think this will be so fun, and I'll be able to wear it with so many things. So yes, this is going to be a Ranunculus. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited to cast it on. Back on the shelf for you. In the summer 2017 edition of Pom Pom, which is this is the first edition of Pom Pom that I ever bought, there is, oh, turned to the right page, there is this gorgeous jumper, which is the Soiree Jumper. It's patterned by Emily Foden, and so it calls for fingering weight and mohair. It says a light fingering weight, but I think if I swatch, then a normal fingering weight will be fine. I will swatch and double check, obviously, but the current plan, because 500 meters per 100 grams, that's quite intense. But the current plan is to make a Soiree jumper out of these gorgeous skeins that I got given from Caroline of Dunderknit from Skein Queen. This is Violet Twist on the, no, it's Violet Gin, sorry, on the Slinky Twist base, 80% superwash merino, 20% silk. So I just think it'll be so drapey and luxurious, and it's quite boxy, which is not the usual shape I go for because I'm top heavy with skinny legs anyway. So I try to avoid things that make me look quite boxy and top heavy, but at the same time I love an oversized comfy jumper, so maybe I should just lean into it once in a while and stop having hang-ups about things that no one cares about. And then to go with it are these 4 skeins of Skein Queen, again, vintage lilac on their floof base, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and I just think it will be gorgeous. Now, this one isn't set in stone, but I do think it will be very nice. But it's whether or not I want it or not. Part of me just kind of wants to make a no frills, but then I don't want to make a no frills. It's currently not size inclusive, and when I inquired about it, she said she was working on it, and that was now months ago. And she's come out with many patterns since then, and it's still not size inclusive. So yes, the issue in Pom Pom isn't size inclusive, but more sizes have been added to the Soiree jumper because I don't want to promote patterns. I don't want to promote patterns to you that don't want to cater for everyone. So that is one of the criteria that I go for, is it size inclusive? And I'm not saying that all of these patterns are available off Ravelry either. I am someone that does use Ravelry still. I do enjoy using Ravelry still. I do like using Ravelry still. I just, yeah, it sucks that it's not usable by everyone. That really does suck, and I'm sorry about that. We seem to be on a jumper kick at the moment. I seem to have just planned all the jumpers I want to knit. I think it's because I didn't knit any jumpers this year. So I'm just like, let's knit all the jumpers in 2023. I really want to make, I keep talking about this, but I really want to make myself a sorrel jumper or have someone make it for me. And I've set this yarn aside to knit it for so long, and I just haven't worked on it yet or started it yet. So this is Chromatic Yarns. This is my fluffy lace base. This is my sturdy sock base. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is 72% super kid mohair and 28% mulberry silk. It's just going to be such a gorgeous jumper, and I'm so excited to cast it on. And yeah, Dreamweaver. I'm going to put it on the shelf, but I do really want to knit it. I do really want to cast it on, and if I need to have a sample knitter make it, then that's such is life, you know, because it will be a fantastic show sample, because I love this colourway and think it's going to stick around for a little bit. And yeah, I just think a sorrel out of that is going to be very pretty. Next up on here, I have the Be Bold Shawl. Be Bold Shawl, and that's a pattern by Tracy Mustard of What Mustard Made. They've designed a crochet shawl. I believe it uses a 5mm crochet hook, and it's just 2 colours of 4-ply, which I can definitely find in here. One of them will probably be purple. So it's just 2 shades of 4-ply. So if I was really brave, I would use this special skein that I love, and I'd put it with oh. These two, really, they're destined to be together. This is 75% merino, 25% mulberry silk, so luxurious. And then this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I think they will be so pretty together in a Be Bold shawl, and I think I will wear it a lot, because they are colours I tend to wear a lot. So I think 2023 may be the year that I use the special skein, that it stops just sitting on the shelf, that I finally cast it on and make something with it. I think it's time. Next up we have the Whitmore Sweater, which is a pattern by Amy Loudon, and the first time I saw this pattern was when Selena of Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co knit one, and therefore I'm going to knit one, I think, once again, not set in stone. I'm not 100% committed to this. I can change my mind at any time I want. Out of Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co, Dreaming of Candy Unicorns. I also have it on mohair. This is 100% superwash merino, and this is 72% mohair, 28% silk. It's the standard mohair. And I think a beautiful pastel lacework drapey, oh, squishiness will just be perfect and so lovely. So that's the plan at the moment. Once again, nothing is set in stone. If something else happens, if something else comes out that I either prefer or think is more suited for the yarn, then that is what I'll make. I don't currently have a plan for my honeymoon yarn, so I'm going to pop that one away. That can sit on the shelf. It's got no plan. But I do think it wants to be held with this mohair from my wedding shawl, because I just think they go so well together. But I don't have a plan for it. Therefore, it does not need to be discussed. And I have a loose plan for this, but I'm not committed enough to say it out loud. So I'm just going to pop that back on my shelf. I can't have too many. I don't sneeze out jumpers. Everything takes me quite a long time to work on. So I'm trying not to get like overexcited and plan too much and then achieve nothing, you know? So we're going back to this side. I found a pattern for these two. Oh no, I've lost the ball band. It's back. I found a pattern for these two. I bought these two to be together to be a hat. This is once again the Fibre Fox, and I didn't know I had so much of Georgie's yarn in my stash, but here we are. This is double knit and 100%? No, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is 74% baby Soiree alpaca and 26% mulberry silk, and they are going to be held together in a hat. Oh, you can kind of see the pastel-y colours now. The sun's gone down a little bit. You couldn't see that in the last stash video I did that they were in. And I think this is going to be a travelling cable hat, which is a pattern by Pearl Soho. I believe that this held together will equate either a worsted weight or Aran weight, and I will definitely swatch. I know in a previous video I said I don't usually swatch for things like hats, but I would definitely swatch for this because it's not using the recommended yarn weight. So I need to try and work it out and try and have it be somewhat of a similar gauge. So I make sure it fits my giant head because I have a giant head, and that has to be a hat because I already have a pom-pom for it. So in a video I filmed recently, I've lost track of days now, I think on day 14 of Vlogmas, I mentioned how I have 6 days left over from my 2021 The Fibre Fox Advent Calendar. So these are the 6 leftover skeins. Now I might rejig them around a little bit because I'm not convinced that one. I want that one there. I think that looks, and maybe that one could be first. Anyway, regardless, I can always rejig. But these are the 6 leftover skeins, and each mini skein is 20 grams. So I have 120 grams, and I'm going to hold it with some of my mohair in the Zone of Truth colourway, which is just like an undyed yarn. And I think I'm going to make the Spiritual Guardian cowl, which is a pattern by Cat Weaver of Heather and Hops. And I think it's a lovely cable cowl, and it's all fluffy, and it's going to be so lovely. I think that is what these will become, and it will be like icy and frosty feeling, and oh, delightful. So yes, I think that's what I'm going to make with the final leftovers from my Advent. I'm going to put these away and not mess up the order too much. So I also have on this list to make another Trilogy sweater, which is a jumper that I've made, which is double knit held with mohair, and I absolutely love, and I've worn it loads. So I really want to make another one of those, but I haven't committed to a yarn yet because I don't actually have any DK weight sweater quantities in my stash. I tend to dye up my DK weight sweater quantities, which is definitely a luxury that the fact that I dye yarn, it's definitely a luxury thing, because buying a sweater's quantity of yarn in DK weight does get quite pricey quite quickly. I need a minimum of 6 skeins of DK weight yarn, and if the average price of hand-dyed yarn is £20 a skein, that's instantly £120 for a jumper, plus 3 skeins of mohair, which can be around £22. So what's that, £66? That's £186 for a jumper. So I would likely dye that myself to make one, or I will find something commercial that I also like and make it out of that instead. But it's really comfy cozy, and it's like wearing a hug, so I definitely want another one of those, that's for sure. Do you like my little mousie on this jumper? It's so cute. It says "'Twas the night before Christmas" on it. Oh, it's so close to Christmas now. Finally, on this list that I have made, I have written the Slice of Light shawl, which is a pattern by Susanna Sommer, and is definitely a pattern that I have made before. It is a sample that I knit using my own hand-dyed yarns, and I'm just going to rearrange myself. I absolutely love that shawl. I've worn it so many times, and just like I said with the Trilogy sweater, how it feels like you're wearing a hug, that very much has the same vibe. So I think I'm going to use this skein of mohair, and potentially it might be time with these two, because what the pattern requires is a skein of 4-ply and a skein of mohair that are quite similar in colour, and then with a contrast skein. So I think these two being the quite similar in colour skeins, with this being the contrast skein, I think that'll be really pretty. Now this is from the Knitting Loft in Toronto. This is one of my honeymoon skeins, and this is in the colourway Velvet. It's 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, and 432 meters per 50 grams, and it's just so squishy, and it's such a gorgeous deep colour. I love it. I was so drawn to it when I saw it. And then these two are both from Cosmic Strings, and they're based in Scotland, Edinburgh, hand-dyed in Edinburgh. I got these from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Each year in Edinburgh Yarn Festival they would dye up an exclusive EYF colourway that you could buy there, and I bought them all. I bought them each year. So this is 2018 and 2019, and I bought the 2017 ones and have knit them into socks. But this one was snow dyed in 2018, and then this one was not. But yeah, they're just 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and I think it's their year to get made into a shawl held with this, because I just think it's going to be so pretty. So yeah, that is the plan. That is the plan for 2023. Now, I'm going to say this, I didn't plan any socks. I don't plan socks. We go by the seat of our pants for socks. Flyby. We fly by the seat of our pants for socks. And not everything was planned. And like baby jumpers and stuff like that, that didn't get planned either. But you know, these were the big projects. And we'll see where I go as the year goes on. This is a lot of projects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half, including the shawl. My cat's left the zoomies again. Thank you. That's 12 and a half projects, including the shawl that I've started. So that's like one a month. If you've watched my channel for a while, this is not how I knit. I do not, well, that's not how I knit or crochet. It takes me several months to finish things. So we shall see. We can but try. And yes, I'm trying to be more organised and give myself more free time in 2023 because I winged it quite hard in 2022. The introduction of yarn shows and stuff again just kind of threw me off. So I'm hoping the Skillshare class that I'm taking will really help. So far it is. I'm only a third of the way through at the moment and I'm excited to do the other parts. I probably will have finished it by the time this video goes up. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much to my cats for distracting me throughout by getting the zoomies and being tiny annoyances. I don't know what I would do without you both. Do you have any knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning plans for 2023? What do you hope to do? What do you hope to make? What do you hope to work on? Because I really want to get through some of this stash. And if I fulfill my list, I will do. Not saying I won't purchase more to add to my stash, but you know, at least some will be getting used. Yes, leave me a comment down below. Let me know. It's the part of the daily check-in, which is something we do over here on Vlogmas. We love to see it. So leave me a comment. That would be lovely. If you would like to subscribe, that would be delightful. I am posting video here every day in the run up to Christmas. There's only four more left. Maybe I'll do one on Christmas Day as well. People to watch after Christmas, because that will be Christmas Eve. That could work out. Anyway, there's 4 or 5 days left. So yes, feel free to subscribe. I also upload quite regularly outside of Vlogmas, so it'll be lovely if you did want to stick around, and maybe I'll get back to doing knitting podcasts again if I actually work through any of these projects that I really want to. Fingers crossed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and with all that being said, thank you so much again, once again, for watching. I can't talk anymore. Just filmed 2 videos back to back, and I will see you very soon in my next one tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow for another fun-filled day of Vlogmas. Bye.